Asteroid of fear.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Man of the House podcast. All right, we're going to try out a different angle here. Sporting the Waffle House t-shirt, going original OG Men of the House, Men of the Waffle House. What's your story? That's what we're trying to get to. So, as you can see, we have a little bit different camera angle for all those who watch on YouTube or you're watching a clip. Yeah, you can see different camera angle. This is kind of the angle I wanted before, but I had to move the mic stand, make some adjustments, this and that, the other. But just testing some stuff out, yeah. Trying to see how I like it, how it's gonna go. Because I had something in my mind a long time ago, and yeah, I got this big light up sign. I got to get it fixed though. It was damaged during shipping, and you find all these sign companies out here, but they don't want to fix it. Well, unless they installed the track lighting on it to get it to light up, they don't want to fix it. Come on, man, just do the repair. I was gonna do it myself, kind of like doing the old school like speaker. When you strip them up, twist them together, crimp them, tape them, whatever that whole business is. But the problem with this one is it's actually a three light. Oh, there went my water. Hold on. A little bend over here. That's exactly what I didn't want happening is my water spilling everywhere. A little further out here. Okay. All right. You saw me navigate that like a pro. Yeah, they're on the YouTubes. Yeah. Actually, that was a little bit difficult because my ribs hurt. I don't know if I've told you guys, but yeah, about a couple weeks now I've had this little rib injury, and it kind of comes from this around the same time, but much later, years ago. We'd just gotten our dog Sugar. That was probably around November, December. I guess we got her around my daughter's birthday, and it was going to be her first Easter. And so apparently the Easter Bunny is waiting down at PetSmart or Petland or Petco or one of them. And myself, my daughter, my dad, and the dog, Sugar, we're going to go have some Easter pictures made. And I take her out to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom, and lo and behold, she gets poo all over the hair around her butt. She's a multi-poo. So, now that you got that visual, I'm like, yeah, mother effing this, mother effing that. Because now I got to go and wash a dog's butt before we can go get pics. And so, you know, I'm leaning over the tub, kind of, because we had this big jacuzzi tub where we lived. And I'm a short guy. So, if I'm on my knees, this thing is kind of like right up under my elbows. Kind of like when you lean over to give your dog a bath. And I'm leaning over, resting on it kind of. And my ribs just give out. You hear a pop, but it was like that cartilage that surrounds your rib cage just collapsed. And man, I tell you what, if you've ever had rib injuries, yeah. So, fast forward, it was kind of tender, kind of sore, and my back was like super burning from some of the people I've been taking care of. And the other morning, I'm just super tight. My wife's like, lay down, face first on your stomach on the floor. I'll like put some pressure on it, whether it be walking or, it wasn't going to be all that. But man, she put barely, hardly any. And again, you could hear the pop. Ta 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 ta. I mean, one fell swoop, it hurt. And she was like, babe, I'm barely putting any pressure on there. No, well, it felt like all the pressure was on there. And even when I went to the chiropractor later that week, I couldn't even get through any of the face down stuff. And he turned me over and put this little chest tapper cartilage thing on there. And so, yeah, that was quite interesting to say the least. But, you know, needless to say, I don't know what has it so inflamed. I mean, it's been hurting, and it was kind of so fine. Put some biofreeze on it the other night. It kind of cheered up a little bit for a day. And then yesterday I had kind of an easy day. I didn't do anything physical, just took my niece back and met the in laws. And I tell you what, when I got home, I laid around all day. Literally had trouble moving, like just getting up, moving side to side, feel all the way up in my armpit. It's just brutal, and it's been kind of that way today. And wifey made me go to storage. That didn't help. A little bit of a exacerbation there, but yeah, we got to get the storage thing done. We got 1 week until the CCC sale. Um, I know I've mentioned it before, probably about the same time last year, or maybe in the fall. We do it twice a year in the fall and the spring, but it's a chance to get rid of some clothes, some stuff, get to sell it all, consignment. And we usually make out pretty well. Um, Go towards a little vacation fund or school fund, whatever's coming up. Usually Christmas, birthdays, summer. So, yeah, that wasn't the best remedy, but it's got to get done. So, a lot of Advil, deep heat, roll on, not getting the fingers all stanky. Yeah, that's kind of how the day is going. But anywho, let's kind of go back to the beginning. Thanks for joining me on this episode. Let's do a little spring break recap. Talk about what's going on. This is episode 113. I kind of just took off and started rambling. But yeah, episode 113, the second episode in the relaunch. It is a solo episode. Should be coming up with a guest episode, hopefully, maybe next week. I got my first interview. I'm going to set him up to hopefully get done this Wednesday. And so, yeah, kind of excited about that. But yeah, spring break was half of spring break was spring breaky. The other half was kind of working. My wife and I did work a couple of days. I worked 3, she worked 2. And, we went and got the niece. So she was kind of here the whole time to kind of hang out with my daughter. And I worked kind of some of the opposite days of my wife. But we did get some time. And then towards the end of the week, we did some family time, all as a family. But yeah, let's talk about, made a post earlier during the week on boundaries. We're going to talk about that because that kind of leads into spring break, setting boundaries. With summer coming up, yeah, it's time to start lining up things. So last time we chatted, I think I was in the middle of, coming off of Buck. and moving into another couple caregiving roles. And these roles, they're kind of to help out. We're trying to be helpful. We want to help out the nurse who gives us work, who owns the home health agency. So part of it is we want to help out. We want to, get paid, of course. It's a way we make money, in addition to some of the other things we do. But man, these last two people, I don't even really think I'd fully gotten over Buck yet, but these last two people were just nuts. I don't want to give away too many details, but with the one, his family, he's 85 years old. His family lives overseas. He pissed him off and just got a little swearing match with him last time they were here, is what I was told. He says it's for the better, but man, I just, that is hard for me to wrap my head around, hard for me to fathom. As I was laying in pain yesterday, and my wife was off with my daughter, I was alone. And it's like, what would that be like? Imagining that the people you cared for most, the people who cared for you most, took care of you, XYZ, they're super far away. You might hear the vacuum in the background. Interesting. So, yeah, super far away. Your only source of help, your only source of comfort. That's another reason we do it. And we have a heart. We don't want them passing away alone around strangers. And our other gentleman, I really like him. I really wish I could continue to help him. But with the hours and the time, he's an early riser and it's a lot to make the commute, to be there, to get him up at 6:30, and then it kind of puts my wife and I in a jam on who's going to take our daughter. Like it requires an extra trip of us, if that makes sense. Both of us are then having to go to town. And then if my wife works local, I would normally just take my daughter. But now my wife would have to go to town, then come back, and then also arrive late. It's just not the best. It wasn't a feasible situation. Um, and it kind of worked out temporarily, but it was really taking a toll. And I kind of knew it. And that is why I decided to set boundaries, you know, of understanding that I could no longer do it. It just wasn't the way we were coming out of one situation, barely getting settled. And then I had done that 20 miler, come off of that, and ran right into this. Man, it was like I didn't know up from down, left for right. And it became like apparent this weekend. I mean, I knew I couldn't do it for a long time. And I must have been running on adrenaline because, you know, my last shift with him was Wednesday. But let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I slept like almost 9 hours each day and over 9 hours last night. And I was just blasted all day yesterday, just so tired. All I did was drive, drop my niece off, come back, and lay in the bed all day. Went to bed early. Had no idea how I was still so sleepy. But it was kind of this accumulation of pedal to the metal, keep it going, balls to the wall, like burn yourself out kind of a thing. And then just crash. Yeah. And it took all those days to catch up. I mean, I felt almost too rested. But if I needed it, then I needed it. The goal is to get onto something more consistent because I'm not a big fan of this kind of burned at both ends, 2 to 4 or 5 hours a night during the beginning of the week, and then, spend a whole weekend catching up. But yeah, part of it was just that whole 4 something wake up and 4:20 wake up and being there at 6:30, but I just wasn't sleeping at night very much. And then if I was getting a nap, that was kind of messing it up a little bit. And yeah, yeah, the dog barking in the background. Welcome back. Welcome back to podcasting. Welcome back to regular podcasting. You can put the signs on the door. You can tell people you're recording. You can tell them, please, please, but no, the vacuum still goes off. The dog, I don't know that she understands, but of course, you know, I'm a simple man. My routine's the same. I do like book club every Saturday at 11:30. It's on the calendar. I've probably been doing it 6, 7 months, but no matter what, someone will always forget that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew you did something every week, but not quite sure what that was. Yes, that's approaching 19 years of being together too. Very, very super selective hearing with all the love, babe. Actually, you'll be hearing this on 324, but it is 323. And 323, this time frame holds some significance to me, in that this was the day I arrived at boot camp. So it was hectic. And for the next, till I walked the parade on May 20th, and yeah, so I always feel like this time frame is kind of similar. Um, I remember when I started in the ER, that was around April 9th, and I was going through in doc and stuff around the same time. And then my last management job actually started on 323. So yeah, the date does hold some significance for me, I guess you could say. Hmm. Yeah, I was just looking at something. See, I had the boom mic on this side before. I used to hang my headphones over there, and I was like, shit. Now when I'm at my desk, where am I gonna hang my headphones? Kind of a thing. Some real time here. Yeah. So my computer's that way, but I'm actually dongled to the TV that way, so I can see myself or when I interview. Yep, yep, yep. You only get the references if you're watching. Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's been a week. I feel like running on fumes. And then, I worked a longer shift Wednesday because that was my last one. And, the spouse of the person I watch had some things to do. So it was really to take care of her. And then it was time to spend time with family. And, this is kind of where the boundaries come in is, I know as a father, um, as parents, father, mother, as parents in general. when you just feel like you know you're not paying as much attention, or you haven't been paying as much attention, or as tuned in, or as dialed in as maybe you feel like you should be. And then it kind of becomes evident with whether it's a little attitude or behavior, nothing bad, but noticeable. I mean, if your child talks to you in a way that is not normal, then maybe something's going on. Maybe they're tired. Maybe, you know, but your absence will create that lack if you're not tuned in. And I knew for about 3 weeks I wasn't all the way tuned in and all the way there. I mean, I've had these moments where, overall, I've kind of dialed in, but, when Bug passed away and we had to move here, that was a period of where, we're focused on day to day life plus getting everything here, then trying to keep life going. And so, like you're kind of, you know, then I'd given so much time to them, it was like a little bit of me time, which is kind of where like the Mammoth March came in. And so I know I'm not dedicating everything there, although my daughter was very supportive and big fan of me doing the Mammoth March. But then coming back and taking on these new clients, these weird ass hours, just feeling off, not being in rhythm. You know when you're not aligned, you know when you're out of sync. I mean, it's one thing for things to be difficult, but it's another thing when things feel clunky in your life. You just kind of know it. And that was the thing. And that's the hard part is like, man, I love being able to help these people out. And I want to help them out. And I can. And I said yes. But then I noticed, like, after a couple weeks, it's starting to impact me, how I feel. Starting to impact my time with my family, how I react to them. And then I had a lot of, like, inner turmoil with the idea of having to tell them, hey, I can't do it anymore, having to set the boundary. Tough conversations are tough, they're hard to have for a reason, even if it is for your benefit. Um, Anyone who's ever had to, whether you're a breakup or you're a manager, and you have, they're hard to have, they're hard to get the timing of it. Sometimes there's these factors that play in of, oh, they're super tired, or you can tell that now's not the best time to have it. But yeah, once I got those words out, I felt way better. And then, you know, kind of as the week went on, I'm going to connect all this together. You know, I could see that this was what needed to happen. This was the right thing to do. Because I could tell, the way my daughter answered me on a couple of things. Hmm, that's not normal, you know, but that's the price of my absence. And then, of course, getting a bunch of sleep and a few other things kind of happening. I was like, I mean, I knew it was the right thing to do, but then you're like, no, this is where I need to be. I have my own family that I need to take care of. I mean, yes, I love helping people, but I need to want to help those I love. And that's kind of one of the odd things that's kind of a discrepancy was, um, I can remember telling my mom one time, sometimes you're nicer to strangers than you are to me, your own son, when we were having a not a great mother son relationship. Of course, some of it induced by me when I was drinking. But that was truth, you know. And I think when we are helpers, it's, it's very easy. Um, it's very easy to put our attention elsewhere, then we don't have to think about ourselves, if that makes sense. Sometimes we don't have to think about our own struggles. Um, and it was funny because I was having a little inner turmoil. And then when I was like, oh, I can see that my daughter needs a little TLC, a little bit of my presence, that I haven't been there the way I need to be the past couple of weeks. All of a sudden, worrying about myself was irrelevant. I needed to worry about her. Man, I was golden now. I don't have to fix any of my own shit. Now I have somebody else to worry about. And actually, that's not true, and that's part of it. That's part of the setting the boundaries because it's for yourself and for your family. It's real easy to get mixed up, I think, especially as fathers, caregivers, caretakers, too, of putting ourselves last. But it's crucial. I would have been like a witch burning alive if I set myself on fire to keep all these other clients warm. When the reality is, the only people who actually I would give my life for and set myself on fire for, literally and figuratively, are my wife and daughter. So, in reality, part of it, setting these boundaries was for them. And I could 100% tell just from all the sleep I had. That was that was kind of the manifestation of 3 weeks of tension, adrenaline, many different things just kind of materializing into what was a slumber. Because my body just felt depleted when I woke up. This is the way my body felt. Felt like a wet rag It dries naturally, and you pick it up, and it's kind of one piece, and it's kind of crunchy. And my muscles felt like you needed to kind of like wet the rag, moisten it up, get it pliable again slowly till it starts to shape, take form, and shape out, return to something normal. Yeah, rough feeling. But I think that's how stress, what do they say, the body keeps the score? I 100% think all that shit you keep pent up, because I was probably done at week two, having to tell them, like, you know, you got yourself into this. Now you have to get yourself out of it, and you feel bad. You got yourself into it just because you said yes. How are you going to get yourself out of it? And you would think, we'll drink here. You would think that go back in. You would think it would be super easy to just be like, this isn't for me. It's easy to get off. It's easy for me to say no. Oh my gosh. Vacuum. Blah, bumping them gums back and forth. Yeah, that kills my train of thought. Oh, the point is that I think with anything, we get ourselves into things, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your decision to decide yes or no. I know sometimes it's not that easy. Oh, I don't like this job. I don't like that one. Well, you got to do something 100%. But if you choose something you don't like a whole hell of a lot, then choose something different. Don't wait there too long. Pull the trigger sooner than later. And that was kind of one of those things that was so weird to me of going, all I have to do is say I can't do this anymore. But it was a lot harder to tell someone no and quit. One, because I'm not a quitter, and I'm a people pleaser, and I have a bleeding heart. But I'm empathetic, and I know that it was going to make their life more difficult without me being able to be there. So, yeah, it made it hard. Yeah, you can decide, hey, this isn't for me, and you can make another decision. It's that easy, even though it doesn't seem like it sometimes. I mean, essentially, that's how we arrive anywhere in life. Is that we make decisions, and sometimes if we like where the decision took us, then we keep making decisions along that. And then eventually, until it's not good anymore, then you decide on something else, and so forth and so forth. I think, of course, decide that I'm just going to play basketball or something or be able to dunk all of a sudden at 5'5". So you do have to make sure that you're still in the appropriate arena you're deciding on, when you're making your decisions. But you know, you know what decisions are open to you and which ones are not. But yeah. Anyway, I feel I feel that was my mind just kind of just blown and blown and boggled a little bit. You have to understand I haven't really podcasted a lot in 3 months, and when I did, was in a different area or in a different residence, and so with that, all the vacuuming, all the interruptions, has my mind jumbled. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about either, other than boundaries, little spring break recap. And then we're getting back to interviewing. Um, should be getting that done this week, so hopefully will be that. But we are back to kind of ground zero, and it is time to rebuild. Spring break is done, those jobs are done. So I'm going to be looking for some sort of side hustle. Yeah, something to make some money while I podcast and work to do other things. So I am available for hire projects. Yeah, that's where choices come in. Is that one of the reasons I haven't gone back to a corporate job is because, like, these last two clients that where it just didn't fit, I need that ability to say, no, this does not work, this cannot work. Um, it doesn't align with what I want for my future. That's where decisions and all that came in. It just reminded me. All the vacuuming stuff had my brain jacked up for a minute there. Um, yes, I clearly remember having this thought out loud, and that is, we have summer coming up. We like our family time. We do not want somebody waiting on us. We don't want to have to be somewhere every day. If we want to take 2 weeks vacation, we want to take 2 weeks vacation. So, when it comes to, we don't want to be locked down. We don't want to have too many obligations where, hey, it's like having a pet. It's like having another child, you know? And some of these older people, you start adding them up, add an extra 2, 3, 4 people. I mean, with your own children, it's like having 7 children. They can do varying degrees of things for themselves, but then some are super dependent, and so that's kind of why I choose to work as I do, meaning that if I like it, I'll continue to do it. If I don't, if it doesn't align, it creates too many pain points for myself or as it relates to my family, then I can scrap it and be done with it. So yes, I will do projects. I will work. I'm open to doing things for others for payment. However, um, I am not open to not having any choice or, hey, this is it and this is the only choice and very little wiggle room. Yeah, not for me. But you need to be aware. You need to understand that about yourself, um, et cetera, when designing a life. Figure out what's important to you, especially in the field you're going into, and understand those kinds of parameters, what they stand for, and what it means. It's taken me a long time to figure out that kind of this is what aligns to me at the moment. Do more of the things that you're excited about and that take you towards the end state you have in mind or envision versus, stop putting time and effort in the things that are opposite of what you want in the future. So, yeah. And that was the main reason for setting boundaries and going the opposite way, doubling down on what I'm enjoying. However, this one didn't turn out quite the way I wanted. Maybe on the camera angle, not so much on the tougher content. A lot of blabbering, but it'll get better. Point is, stay connected. I will keep doing this, keep on the consistency train, and I got to get back into it. I got to get the reps going, and I got to get the timing and the rest of the house on board. Of course, I'm sure all the vacuuming, everything, it's probably my fault because I chose the wrong time to do this. But yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to get hashed out. But we're back. We'll get it hashed out. It will get better. Wish I had something more. What do I call it? More profound. Yeah. I wish I had a whole bunch of profound knowledge to drop right now, but I don't. I just feel like I'm kind of back at square one, ready to get this going. I thought, well, last week was kind of square one. But yeah, I still had to offload the clients, catch up on sleep, and get back to square one. I was really at -1 last week. And now we're going to start moving forward. Start putting those interviews in the bank, start getting some good content, start changing lives, start having some enjoyable conversations. So, yeah. Until next time, peace to your moms and props to your pops. Getting used to this thing here. See, I have to use my journal over here to do the whole mousy thing over. But yeah. Oh boy. There we go. A one-man show over here doing all the technical stuff. Yeah. But all right. Until next time. Peace out.
Let's go. Asteroid of fear.